forward line with Yoda and Sonny are probably the best line out there. He's not the tallest person out there, but because he has such a wide head, that actually helps him as a goalie because you can make a lot more header saves. And you know, on the side, he works at Walgreens, so Ryan gets to donate his time here. The least valuable player, brought to you by Walgreens. I touched on this a little bit earlier. It is Luigi, and this is actually very true if you play on this table. Luigi's rod is kind of broken, so that whenever he tries to kick it, or at least whenever I use him and he tries to kick it, he just kind of like stops and hits the ground. So like that makes him really good at fake outs. You see his strength up there because you know you think he's gonna kick it, but then he can't. But his weaknesses are a lot of other things that have to do with being good at foosball. Yeah. And the committee noticed that all the awards went to people on the blue team, so they kind of felt bad that the red team's left out, so they created one more award. Just it's not always about how good you are. A lot of times it's just about how good you look and you are up there, and for obvious reasons they chose Ross Weber to name this award after. And this award went to Dylan Sontag. You know, he's just out there consistently looking good and just being there. He doesn't really put in any stats, but that's not really important. That's not what this award's about. Just look at how majestic he is, and that is why he is very deserving of this award.
So as Annie has sort of touched on, our table has a lot of quirks that make it really interesting and unique. It's not always safe to stand by the foosball table with all of the flying bolts, flying screws, flying handles, flying fill in the blank. It's not of the best quality, and the table tends to fall apart pretty often. Also, as we tend to get really into the game, there are flying balls everywhere. There should be a protective barrier around this, knowing the way that we play, but lo and behold, there is not. We do get very competitive. SoCore is such a loving, supportive environment, which we really appreciate, but when it comes to the foosball table, there are no rules except for the rules of the game. So it's anyone's game. Volume control can be an issue. We realize that we are in a functioning office space where there are people working. So we tend to get a little carried away sometimes, especially because of our location right next to SmackDown. Here's the thing, we don't want to kick anyone out the way I had to kick Pete out of the boardroom on Wednesday.
Exactly. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
But, you know, this game is serious. We take our game very seriously, and when someone schedules a call on SmackDown during lunchtime, come on, it's not very respectful of our time. So we have some trick shots and strategies that we like to incorporate. The catapult is when the ball lands on top of your player who's running parallel to the table, and everyone will scream and yell at you until you catapult it back onto the board. The pop shot is when, since the bottom board of the table kind of gives a little bit, it'll get stuck between the player and the table, and it'll just get stuck there until it scooches a little bit, and then you can just kind of slide it into the goal. The goalie shot, for no undetermined reason, is 2 points. The raw shot is when you attempt to make a goalie shot and it goes into your own goal instead, which happens about 90% of the time. So
60% of the time it works. Every time. Yep.
And lastly, you know, aiming for ideally positioned players like Mario to give yourself the best shot at the goal.
We decided to find out what the culture of foosball was like here in the Chicago area, and through our reporting we found that there's actually a pretty intricate system of tournaments and games that happen in various different places. So we decided to hunt down somebody who was very involved in the foosball scene here, and we took a short interview of an anonymous person who didn't want to reveal his identity, so we just want to show that.
Foosball at SoCore was started by me. I found this table just sitting there, and it had other games on there, but who plays air hockey? Clearly, there is one and only one game that should be played, and it is foosball. The foosball scene in Chicago is pretty terrifying. These people are for real pros. They have tricks like the snake shot, pole shot, and I even met a 60-year-old lady that kicked my ass in foosball. It's scary, man. We play. We play in bars, we play in clubs, even alleys, you name it. We are hooked.
And he was an extreme case of foosball addiction, so hopefully he has received help. True story.
So just to tie everything together, seriously, do you guys have to book SmackDown at lunchtime? And we would love if everyone would join us and play with us. We don't bite, usually, unless you step at Shamrock, you know. Who knows? But we usually don't bite.
We do like it. It was the reason Trump was kicked off the table. We wanted to keep everyone else out.
Yeah, we just wanted to thank you all so much for giving us this opportunity with this internship. It's been such a great learning experience. We've learned hand-eye coordination and competitiveness and teamwork that we never would have been able to at this table. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Aiden.
Awesome. That was great.